call just to get that
Hello?
flow. Yes.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yes, I
Hello?
can hear you, Bernie. Hi, good morning.
Good evening. How you doing?
Oh, good evening. Yeah, sorry. It's morning here in my time.
Okay. I've got Warren in on this too. I don't know whether anyone else will jump on, but that's up to them. But I just wanted to touch base to go through a few things with you,
Yes, okay.
just to see how we could make this work better, about the phone calls and strike rate and all of that jazz. So we've got Maria, who's working for one or two of my clients. It's Maria, isn't it, Ma? Have I lost you? It's still there.
Yes, it is. It's cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you've got Marie working for a couple of my clients.
Yes, Cha. Her name,
Cha.
she goes by Cha, yeah.
But her name's
Cha.
Marie.
Marie Charisse, yes.
Marie Therese, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Has she been given much training? I even forget who she's doing the calls for. Oh, she's going to do them for Amy in New Zealand, right?
Yes, Amy and Helen.
Yeah, and Helen. Okay. And we're trying something different. Amy wanted to about, so Marie would mention the price.
Marie would mention the price, right? With Amy and Helen? Yes.
Yeah. So with Amy, there's competition. So Amy wanted to, and because she's got 675 entries into the competition, she wanted to get Marie to try and book them in.
Okay.
And I just wondered, like, I've tried a couple of times to get in touch with her and it doesn't work so well. So I don't know why she's so difficult to get in touch with. She's gotten back to me, but is it best to, yeah.
You're talking about chat, right?
Yeah. Is it best to get, to talk to her or touch base with her through Upwork?
The best is through email.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I've got her email address, I think, somewhere.
But I think she is contacting Helen and Amy via Upwork. So maybe she is checking her messages often in Upwork.
Or via Upwork. All right. But that's all right.
Okay.
Because we're sort of moving, I'm talking to my clients every day type thing. And because we're moving and are certainly not where we were when we first made contact, I wanted to sort of bring you up to date and also see if you had any thoughts on certain things about what you were doing that we could improve on.
Yes. I really do think that we should mention the prices to the potential customers, because that way it helps the photographers. It helps them. It helps us filter the best customers by the time when they're talking to the photographers. But sometimes that's where I notice that during the script they tend to back out when they hear about prices or those stuff. Or about the deposit. The deposit is when they back out mostly.
So you're doing this with someone, are you, mentioning prices?
Yeah, before with Warren.
You're mentioning prices, you're mentioning prices and you're telling them that when he calls them that they'll be expected to pay $100
Deposit, yes.
Right.
And before we used to, with Warren script, I used to say it was included there that their collections start at $850 and goes up, or $350, something like that. And Murray, I used to say that prices start at $1,000 and it goes up.
So could that
depending
be one?
on this? Yeah,
So could
that's
that,
where they tend to back out. But I know we've changed that up with Warren. Because with Warren now we're not mentioning prices. But I'm not sure if he's getting more bookings that way.
Well, hey, Molonay.
Hi, Warren.
Hey. I think the reason for the slow uptake with that list, Bernie, I've been talking about it, I think it's just because it's getting a little stale.
Salesy?
The list itself, the leads are getting a little old. So I think
okay.
we're just losing a little bit of interest that way right now.
well, put it this way. With Warren, we were just talking, and he said not only that, when he does make a booking, when he finds someone up and he takes the deposit, quite often, the majority of the time, they cancel a day or two later. Now, what we felt, the reason they would cancel, and this is something that's cropped up all the time, the only contact has been with the woman. You've spoken to them.
Mm-hmm.
You've told them price. You've explained things. You said Warren can call to book it in a time. Warren does that. They say, okay, all good. Here's my credit card. I'll book in. Then they tell the husband.
Okay.
So the problem that we're having, and which we got to look at addressing, and it's been a problem that we've had throughout all this, is the husbands, right?
When they talk to the husbands, yeah.
Yeah, and we know what husbands are like because you've got one, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're very price conscious.
When it comes to money stuff.
Yeah. Especially when it's an emotional thing, like having a photograph taken rather than buying a new tire for the car. So it's a luxury item, right? The photography.
Yeah, it is. For husbands, yeah.
So can we introduce something in there, in the script, and when you talk to them, to get clarity? Now, obviously, they won't know until they talk to the husband. So how do we address this? What's your suggestion?
So you're asked to introduce something into the script that will let me think.
Maybe could be as simple as you go through everything, and then I've got a script in front of me of someone.
Okay.
So maybe the script could be something like this. Okay, and I've gone through some things, and so then you say, so okay, there's a couple of things I want to run by you just to make sure and give you clarity with everything. Now, with sessions, there is a $99 deposit to book and confirm the photography session date. Now, the reason we do that is because we've had a lot of no-shows in the past. So this just protects us from that happening.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it is to confirm and hold your appointment, and you can use it towards any purchases you may make when you see the photographs. or we can refund it if you don't like any of the photographs and you choose not to buy any. Now, I also want to touch briefly on our pricing. Again, as I mentioned, there's no obligation to purchase anything, but just so you're aware, we have photography products starting at $495 and going up there. Some people choose to spend $1,000, $2,000, some go even higher. Look, it's up to you. The only time you decide, of course, as I've said, is when you see your photographs. How does that all sound? Now, before I can go any further, I've got to ask you a very important question. And it concerns your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go and talk to your husband about this, is he going to be happy that you've gone and committed to make a session with the likelihood that you could spend money? Or will he just stamp on the whole thing?
We could try that. Is it in all? Is it just Warren's leads that are having problems
No.
with husbands? It's everybody's.
Well, let's put it this way: when Warren has a cancellation, and we want to minimize everything, right? We don't. What's the point in you phoning up someone? You do your job, which is really to make a time for Warren to call them. Your job. Then Warren does his job and books them in, and then they cancel.
Yeah.
And the missing link there, the thing that spoils the whole thing is the fact that they talk to the husbands, and then the husband says, "No, I'm not. No, you can phone up and cancel."
Yeah, I think we should, try that also in the script then.
Do you sort of agree with me though, being married, and is your husband like that?
Yes, he is.
I know it's a wide thing. I know that it's not unusual because the male species is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? And so all I'm and say, look, maybe you could clarify it and say, because I want to make sure, because there's no point me making a time and Warren phones you up and then you book in and then you tell your husband all about it and then he gets you to phone him and cancel.
Yeah.
So maybe you lay that down sort of, and say,
to see if their husband's in it. Yes, I think it's a good.
You're not trying to make it too negative, but you also want to make it. So to that point, I've made some changes to the style of ad that we're putting up there, and one of the ads, and this is the ad we're talking about, is it, Warren? We put kids and their moms and dads wanted, and we mentioned dad in the ad as saying, yes, dad, you will have to take time off work, have some photos taken with your kids, your amazing kids, and yes, mom, you will have to drag dad screaming and yelling to get to the studio so we can do this once in a lifetime family portrait. So we've addressed dads in there. So can I ask you, Warren, and I asked you earlier, there is a difference, do you feel, that in the response you're getting with the dad situation, or are you still getting cancellations? Or are you just having more positive vibes with the people you speak to?
So the people I've spoken to that I was able to book in actually read the humor of the ad.
Right.
And so they actually did digest that. And you could tell that they had noticed the conversation about the dads and so forth.
Yeah.
And then, we got, let's see, it ran for 7 days, 246 leads, 11 bookings. I had 14 bookings, so I had 3 cancellations. what I'm noticing is they're excited to talk on the phone. They're excited to do the whole session. And that's definitely been a good thing. There hasn't been, and I think this might be my fault actually, there hasn't been a lot of conversation. There's been some conversation about the dads, but not, I feel maybe it should be more when I'm chatting to them.
So what I'm suggesting, Molonay, is that we do introduce this into the script and you relate to your own husband.
Yes.
You could say, because I know if it was my husband, I know I'd have to chat to him before I dragged him screaming to a studio to have a family photograph taken. So, you know, and you could just talk to them, woman to woman. What do you think? You know your husband better than I do. How do you think he will react?
Yes.
And you could follow it by saying, as I said, you know, because it's not just making me a time for Warren to call you to book you in, and then, you know, 2 days later your husband finds out what you're doing and cancels the whole thing. Do you think that may work a bit better?
I think it will, yes. I think it will be better since that is one of the problems then.
It is a major problem.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you. It's not anything you're doing or Warren's doing. It's just, you can imagine how frustrating it is when, you know, Warren makes these bookings and then 2 days later they cancel and want the money back. So we've changed a couple of things, especially with Warren. One, I suggested to him bringing the fee down.
Which I've started. It's $49 now.
The deposit fee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually get very little resistance from $49. It's kind of like, oh, sure.
It's just the resistance to the higher number.
Okay.
So we thought we'd make it a little freer.
Okay.
So that helps as well.
Okay. I didn't notice any, before when I would mention the $100 deposit, I didn't really notice a lot of resistance, and when they would talk to me, they're like, oh, okay. That's all they would say.
But remember, Warren also had a lot of no pickups, people not responding when he called them, and things like that, which could be the $100 is too high.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that's all right. And then they get off the phone and say, geez, I'm not paying $200.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know one thing that I noticed when it came to, we'd get the date and the time, we'd get everything figured out, we'd get the form filled out, the booking form filled out. I said, okay, you know, I'd go through the script about the confirmation fee of $49. And I go, oh, you know, before I make that commitment, I need to talk to my husband to make sure that that's going to work. And even though I say we can reschedule your day and time if you give me enough notice, sometimes that works with some people. And then those that it doesn't work with, I never hear back from again, actually. Or they'll just say they're not interested. So it tells me that it wasn't about the cost of the fee, but they've realized that they're actually going to be spending some money. This is no longer a completely free session. Yeah. So I think the reality of the situation has kicked in at that point. So they're just worried about spending money now, and they're thinking about their husband, and how annoyed they might be if they're spending money, I guess.
What about, also you could do this, and I made this as a suggestion. If you talk to them and they say, oh, yeah, I better speak to my husband, you could say to them, look, no problem. I'm calling a lot of people today because we're booking people in. So as long as you call back in 24 hours, we'll keep a spot open for you. And if you'd like to call Warren, he can book you in and take that $49 with your credit card details.
Okay.
So I'm suggesting I don't think you should need to call them, but you give them 24 hours to talk to the husbands and get back.
Okay.
How do you?
And then I'll call them back, right? Is that?
No need to. You've
Oh.
got 24 hours.
Well, like, how do you feel about scheduling the session and taking the confirmation fee? Well, Bernie, do you think do you think I should be involved in this?
Well, look, that's the ideal. The problem was, how can Molonay take the fee?
Yeah, I think so, because I think it'd have to be the photographer getting the card details, right?
This is the
Because
problem.
if it's somebody else, yeah.
It's not going to work.
Is that a legal standpoint or
No, just too messy. It's not going to work.
So Calendly will actually take and process money for a booking. You can actually have that as an addition step to setting up a meeting.
So you can set up a payment gateway.
Yeah, use it Stripe. So
it's a credit card.
And it will take the credit card, yeah. So when you set up a meeting in Calendly, I don't have it enabled right now, but it is actually a final step where they'll take a fee. And then that's when you type in
their card details.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only other step that I would have to do, or I could train you to do it, is to fill out the CRM, the customer relationship database.
Yes.
And then that sends a booking confirmation email to them.
Okay.
But it actually, from a technical point of view, we can get Calendly to take that session fee, the confirmation fee.
Are you two willing to trial that?
Yeah, I can.
And look, I don't mind whether we make the fee $20. Less resistance. One of my photographers gets a lot of sessions because he does a charity thing and they pay $30 and they get a complimentary session and a 10x8 print, So I think that's the ideal. That's the ideal for Warren. I mean, that's the ideal for any photographer, is if we could, and it's not the amount of money. The amount of money sometimes causes more problems.
Mm-hmm.
We always felt if we charged a higher fee, then that would give us a more qualified customer, but not necessarily. Because if you've told them price, if you've told them their expectations, it doesn't really matter, does it, if they're paying a certain amount of money?
Well, when you look at the quality of the bookings Marcus has had at $49, that
99.
No,
is 99.
Is $99 now?
Yes.
I think it was a lot less though in the beginning, and he still had really good leads and bookings with that, if I recall that right.
Yeah, but it's this trade-off volume, and we're after a bit more volume, and it's a bit of a trade-off. And I think
it's a throttle.
I think if Molonay does that, and if she can take the booking and she can take the money, and then you follow up and talk to them
about the session.
Say, look, I see that Anne's booked you in for next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Just want to talk to you a bit about clothing and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier.
Yeah. Kind of get the booking set up and the money bit out of the way.
Do you know what I would do to test this? I'd make it $29.
Okay.
I'd see if we can get some bookings in and just trial it. for $29.
Okay. Should we run a different ad for that, or just test it out with the list that we have right now?
Well, we've got to get rid of the list. You can't promote, get 200 leads, and half of them fall by the wayside.
We could try it with the remaining list, I think.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, for the next week.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important in Monolay's script that we talk about, talk the way that you mentioned, Bernie, about, I think you said print started $4.95, and some people spend $1,000, $2,000. I forget the wording, but I think that's really important to kind of make sure we hit those points, so that their expectations are set correctly, and that we're talking about the husband, making sure he's on board with this. Because it would be wonderful if Monolay could take care of this section of the process, and then all I'm doing is talking about the
ideal. I mean, it's a dream, isn't it? Really?
Well, yeah, because then I can focus on them and the creative process, and and taking it from there to the sales room.
I'm just filling out a script, Molonay, to send you.
Okay.
What's your just a second. What's your address, Warren?
My email address?
Studio.
312 West Chatham Street.
Chatham?
Yeah, CHATHAM.
Very English.
I had to find an English address,
He's at 312 West Chatham Street, Carey.
And that's a suite 204. And that's not Candy.
Suite 204.
And that's in Carey. Yeah.
Why don't we just put you at 312 West Street, Carey, in Carey.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Where is it near?
Carey is 10 miles from...
Where is the studio near?
It's in downtown Carey. It's on the main street. Really.
So you're...
They call it downtown.
In the main street, downtown. Where are the lights are low? He's in the main street downtown at 312 West Chatham Street in Carey. Is that where you are?
I'd probably say we're in downtown Carey, because they don't actually have a road called Main Street, oddly enough.
He's in the main street downtown.
He's in the...
He's on a main street.
Yes, he's on a main street in downtown Carey, which is...
He's on a main street at 312 in I won't put the address. I'll put... He's in a main street downtown. He's downtown. He's in downtown Carey.
That's what they say. That's how they say.
He's in downtown Carey. The Carey or Carey?
Cary.
No, how do you say it?
Carey. I mean Carey. Carey. You say Carey.
Carey as in carry bags.
Yes.
Okay. So he's in
Gonna
Downtown
say, right.
Cary on I'll put Chatham Street, on Chatham Street.
Yeah. There's no main street. I'm looking on the map. There's actually no main street here.
No, don't worry. So what are you near? The fire station or what? Nothing?
We are...
You buy anything?
We're actually really close to the main train station.
Close to the station?
Yeah.
Close to Cary Station?
Cary, yeah. And also the city town of Cary, the city hall, I guess you'd call it.
Close to the Cary Station, train station.
Yeah. And City Hall.
And City Hall. All right. Okay. Okay. We're looking at 45 minutes. Warren will take lots of photos. I'll just do the script. What I'd like you to do, Molonay, is if you can look at the script, if you can add the bit about the husband.
Yes.
And then send it back to me. That'll be good.
Okay.
And this mentions Warren a lot. And we'll give it a go, huh?
Yeah. Warren, would you like me to try it for the leads on Tuesday?
See.
Yeah,
so this is another thing we were chatting about. So this list right now is a little old anyway, so it doesn't really matter so much. But I would say, yeah, hold on. So I looked at the spreadsheet that you have right now, and how you've put them into different sheets, which looks really cool, by the way.
Okay.
So I'd say hit the list of people that you haven't called yet.
Yes.
And that's about, 120 people, I think?
Yeah, 100 plus.
Yeah, I'd call those people, because all the other ones have just had voicemails and stuff.
Yeah, a lot are voicemails.
What I can do is I could send out an email and kind of nudge them a little bit, kind of wake them up a bit, say you're going to be phoning them.
Yep, you want to do that anyway.
I wonder if there's a way that we can send an email where they can schedule a time with Molonay or the studio kind of thing.
The schedule doesn't work that well, does it? Warren, you're actually getting Molonay to schedule times, aren't you? Rather than price. Rather than time brackets.
It's time brackets for Warren.
Is it? What about with Karen? Is that time brackets, or is she?
For Karen, she has specific time slots in Calendly. Specific times.
Specific times.
Yes.
And I spoke to Warren, and I've spoken to one or two of my clients about evenings. You say evenings are better. Karen's a big fan of evenings, right? Phoning on an evening.
Phoning. But Warren's actually doing Wednesdays 1 to 4. Wednesdays 1 to 4 p.m. Right, Warren? You still want to continue that?
If
phoning.
Yeah, for the conversations where these are booked people for this experiment, so you're going to book them in and take the confirmation fee. I'm okay making those phone calls Wednesday afternoon. I could probably open up a few other times because really all I'm doing is just talking to them about the session.
Yeah.
And really styling the session with them. And
well, you don't need to tee up a time to talk to them. You just call them 2 days before?
Yeah, like I phoned a bunch last night. I phoned 3 people that had the time bracket, and I spoke to 2. I got a voicemail on 1, spoke to 2. So it works actually quite well. But the thing that I noticed was you're getting people when it's maybe not the best time to talk to them. They could be driving, which was one of those people last night. But the other one was actually just finishing a meal at a restaurant. So you kind of like jumping into their lives when they don't quite
That's
expect
fine.
that.
I don't have a problem with that.
No,
You're
and
talking about the afternoon, though. I'm talking about the best time to call is the evening. They're at home.
I actually, the only thing I've noticed with the calls during the day is it has to be really fresh. So those calls literally have to be the next day or the same day that Molonay has spoken to them for them to really work.
Yeah.
If they're like a 2 days or 3 days out, much like the email issue, it's hit or miss.
But we're not going to do that anymore.
No, if we're...
That's finished. From this moment, we're trying to get the money, take the booking.
Exactly.
You're going to phone them a couple of days before, and if it's a voicemail, you leave a voicemail. If it's whatever.
Yeah, I think that we don't know how that's going to work because I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, this would be new. Actually, I'm kind of excited to see. It'd be kind of fun to run this as a test.
Well, I've sent the email to you, Molonay, via email and the script, and I put $29.
Okay, thank you. I'll just personalize the part about the husband, right?
Yeah, I just want you to put in the script at some part about the husband, the way you feel it should go in. I will,
Yes.
and send it back to me, and I'll have a look at it, make any minor changes, and send it back to you, and we'll call that the script.
Okay.
And we'll test that from now on. Now, what do you need, Molonay, to be able to do to make these? Is that set up in Jotform and Calendly, that payment gateway?
All I need to do is create a new appointment type that has enabled Stripe.
When can you do it?
Well, I think you use Stripe. How quickly were they at enabling your account with them?
Oh, I don't remember. I got someone to do it for me.
So that's all I need to do. I think it's probably going to be just like Square. It should be like within 24 hours. Like they'll get all the bank stuff.
So you're going to set that up tonight?
Yeah, I could do that. And
so
right now I'm using Square. I wonder whether we could just give Molonay a login to Square so she can just I could give her a virtual terminal so she can just type in the amount, the $29. We could do it that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Yeah. You can have staff with Square. And I'll look at that tonight. I'll make a decision which way we go.
All right. And in the meantime, just carry on then till you get it sorted.
Because it's just $29. Yeah.
Okay. So the only other thing, Molonay, not to hold you up, was what Warren was saying about when the leads get old, day by day, they get stale. So what I'm thinking to facilitate that and to help you as well, and to help this along, that I'll get the photographers to put the ad up for one day only. Or when they've got, I don't know, 20 leads, they stop the ad.
Mm-hmm.
Would that help?
Like, I think it helped with Murray because I think she did try that. She was doing that with the kids at Spirit. And I think she was getting it because we were contacting them like the next day when they applied.
Yes.
And they were getting booked.
So this is what we've got to try and do.
Yes, I think batches at a time I think is better instead of it's good that I have a long list of leads to call, but then
Yeah.
it is getting old.
It's an old list.
It's an old list, yeah.
All right.
I think we could also try that.
Yeah, we'll implement that as well. So there'll be a steady stream of fresh leads instead of
fresh leads.
Big stream of old
of a
ones.
list.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's try all that, hey?
Sounds like a good plan.
It's working a bit better. I mean, the key for me and Warren and any photographers, if this works, if you can actually make bookings, if you can actually take the money, confirm the bookings, and then the photographer just does all the follow-up work necessary, we found heaven.
Yes.
It would be beautiful. A beautiful place.
Photographers
yes.
heaven.
Yes, I hope it all works. I know it's just a trial and error thingy right now.
Because then I'm sure that, there'd be a lot more, to have a refined system like that would be, for me, very marketable as well.
Oh, yeah.
I've also suggested Molonay to a friend who I used to coach, she used to be a photographer, and she moved into the real estate industry. And I suggested to her that I have a team. So if they wanted to run a competition on Facebook saying win $3,000 to cover the costs of you moving home to get leads for people who are thinking of buying or selling, whatever, and we got a list, I suggested that, you'd be good for that too, to phone people up and just get the details about when they were moving and just make touch with them. And then put them in contact with the real estate agent. So same thing, but different industry.
Yes. You could just send her the Upwork link, right? My Upwork link.
Yeah, no, we're only talking about it at present.
Okay.
She's got to say, yeah, Bernie, great idea. That's all. And then we get it going. But I'm saying it works, obviously, in a lot of industries, as you know.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks
so I will update chat on this, Marie Charisse, about this so that she's updated.
But not to do.
But yeah, I'm the one doing it for Warren though. She's only doing Amy and Helen.
We're doing a test.
Yes, a test.
Yeah. You'll notice in that script, there's a bit more positioning as well. We need that strong positioning. So it says Warren is a multi-award winning photographer. Yeah. And that it will be a bespoke session. In other words, it's totally individualized for them. But that's all in the script anyway that I've sent you.
Okay.
All right, good. All right. Good morning or good night.
Good night to you guys. Thanks again, Bernie, for this time, and also Warren.
Thank you, Molonay.
I'm excited to try this out.
Yeah. All right. Good on you. All right. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a great night. Bye.
See ya.
All right. We'll leave it at that then.
That sounds perfect, actually. I think I like the idea of the
experiment. We give it a go. Come on, we got to test things. We got to make things work better.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Well, I'm going.
Cool. Have a good night.
See you later, mate.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.